Hi there, welcome back to True Goonham. So it's the big one tomorrow, the North London derby. Excited, nervous, words cannot describe. I'm here with a Spurs fan. Hi Josh, how are you?
Very good, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. So obviously you saw my preview. You see, I'm excited for this game. How are you feeling? Are you feeling excited? You feeling nervous? Are you confident you can actually beat us at the Emirates?
It's about time that we do win at the Emirates, don't you think? It's been a
Well,
fantastic week for the club. I'm really in good spirits ahead of the game. We're playing finally well, which it seemed from the start of the season we weren't, even though we've had our best start to a league season. But yeah, confident, surprisingly, but always a little bit nervous. I think tomorrow, when I actually get to kick off, that's going to be the moment where I really kind of feel it right there.
oh yeah, definitely. Of course, everyone feels that way. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. You have been playing well lately. You got that massive win against Chelsea. Chelsea have been playing very well all season, but you really went in and you literally destroyed them. You could have got about five or six. What way did you approach that game? Did you approach that game on the front foot because you were like so dominant? It was so one sided.
I think with the Chelsea game, teams haven't given them a real sort of physical battle, and that was the difference. We attack them. Teams have often showed Chelsea a little bit too much respect, and I think it's important that you do show a team like Chelsea respect, but in the right way. And the only other time I can think of this season where a team sort of really tried to match Chelsea physically and really press them hard was when Arsenal obviously played them at
Yeah,
Stamford Bridge.
we should have won that. We
You could have
missed so
scored
many
six or
shots.
seven there.
Yeah, I know. So that was annoying.
So
But
that
since
that was
then,
that was it. It was forcing them into mistakes.
yeah, but since then we have been on this 18 game unbeaten run, and yeah, we haven't necessarily been playing the greatest of footballs, but there's a different mentality that Unai Emery has got the team going, and we are getting results. We're still starting games off slowly, but I remember when we played. Did you watch the game when Arsenal played Liverpool? How we literally
Yeah,
bullied, literally fought them. And if Arsenal do that to you, do you think that is that the way how we can beat you?
I think that the reason that Arsenal would beat us tomorrow is going to be down to how Tottenham do in terms of individual mistakes. I think that's going to be key because I think if Spurs, with the confidence they have and the way that they've been playing this week, continue that against Arsenal, and Arsenal obviously will need a massive performance at home. There's no reason why you shouldn't think
Oh,
you can
definitely.
beat us. Then it's really anyone's game. But I think it's going to be very hard to separate the two teams, provided one of the teams doesn't make a mistake. And I think it's going to be who can force which team into a crucial mistake that might lead to a break, one goal, one shot. And I think what Arsenal have really lacked in previous North London derbies, particularly when you play at Tottenham, and
Yeah,
it's always
we
different.
just never seem to do well when we play away from.
It's it's all in the head. It's all the mentality. It's that physicality and that fight and that hunger. And I think Unai Emery's changed things around a little bit. And I think the addition of Lucas Torreira shows that is exactly the type of
That's a
player you
brilliant
want.
signing.
That's
Yeah,
exactly the type of player you'd want in the North London derby because it's not just physicality and aggression and fight, but it's done in the right way. It's done in a disciplined way as well. And that's been the difference because, I mean, think back to Francis Coquelin, who had the heart, but his head went and
yeah,
he
it
wasn't
did.
sensible.
Yeah,
I think that's my fear.
I agree. I agree. I definitely think at the moment Lucas Torreira is our most important player because we haven't had a player like him since the days of Gilberto. Well, Song did it all right, but wasn't consistent enough. Coquelin, as you said, started off well, but then died off. Granit Xhaka isn't really that type of player. El Nene, I don't think is good enough. But yeah,
I
definitely.
think I think in previous games, one of the key things for Spurs has always been blitzing your midfield. The midfield battle has always been so important, and
Yeah, you've got Musa Dembele usually controls the show, just like he did at Wembley last season.
exactly. And you didn't have someone that was able to cope with him, and now Torreira is that player, I think. Although, obviously, Dembele's out, but Moussa Sissoko out of nowhere, it seems.
Yeah, I know he has stepped up lately. I'll give him that. Against Chelsea, he was brilliant.
And against Inter, I thought he was the best player on the pitch.
And also, you've got Lamella. He's really found his form again. And also, Lucas Moura at the start did very well, and he started slowly coming back now. So
looks like Heung-min Son is finally getting into form as well.
Yeah. Well, I kind of think this could be the wrong time to play you, but listen, with Arsenal just got to go into the game with no fear. That's all I think. And obviously, you got the Tongan back in defence, so
did very well. Foyth coming in did very well as well.
Yeah, I think he scored against Palace, didn't he?
This seems like there isn't a better time to play Arsenal right now. And I know, obviously, all respect to Arsenal for going on an 18-game unbeaten run. When you played Liverpool, Arsenal was brilliant, but Liverpool were certainly not at their best. Liverpool really didn't show up. If Liverpool had played the same way that they played at Wembley against Spurs, I think maybe it would have been a different result.
Yeah, because they beat you at Wembley. Yeah.
When you look at this run and you're looking at games, so Bournemouth, you won, not playing particularly well like Man United did. You look at Vorskla Poltava, home and away. I mean, you can't really.
Some
of these games don't qualify, and I think.
Oh no, absolutely not. Well, we played the kids the other night because we wanted to arrest all our star players for that. So
yeah,
you count that.
I think the whole unbeaten run thing is not even going to be factored in for Spurs because Chelsea were unbeaten when we beat them.
Yeah, you did.
This season,
oh, yeah, that's true. They're unbeaten also. But do you think this is a game, regardless of the unbeaten run, where form literally goes out the window? Because I do think it is. I think it's whoever turns up on the day.
I think there's a balance. I think yes, definitely. Form relates to quite directly to confidence and your team's mentality, the players individually, how they're feeling. So someone like Sissoko is probably going to be in really, really good mood and really raring to go for this game. Whereas, for example, if Wanyama was to play, he's not played particularly well. His head would probably be in a different place. I would say that both teams are going to be confident going into the game. And it will probably come down to who takes their chances, who can force another team into mistakes, and fitness largely as well.
Yeah, because you have got the Tongan coming back. Is Christian Eriksen fully fit? Because wasn't he struggling with a bit of an injury? Because I think last year when we beat you at the Emirates, you didn't really have Kane, and I don't want to use that as mocking us because I thought we were absolutely brilliant that day, and I fully applaud us for that. And I want us to show that again tomorrow. But do you think that because Kane and Ali were carrying a little bit of an injury, and is it going to be the same with Eriksen and the Tongan because they just
Eriksen was man of the match against Chelsea, and scored the winner against Inter Milan. So surely he seems to be in really, really good nick. Apparently, the injury problems were sort of exaggerated by the media. Apparently, there were some things said in the media that weren't quite true. They reported in the Danish media about him having some chronic stomach problem, which wasn't the case. I think he's fine. Vertonghen appears to be completely fine. He came back really early. It was expected he was going to be out until the new year, possibly, and he came straight back, and he's been fantastic. I don't know. I think it seems like finally everyone seems to be fit. That's important to the team. Dembele obviously being the big miss, but Davinson Sanchez back in training as well, and it was expected he was going to be out until the new year.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's with Spurs in general this season. We've struggled a lot with. We've struggled with injuries this season, and now finally we're playing well at a time where all of our players seem to be coming back into full fitness, which is why this is probably not the best time for Arsenal to be playing Spurs. Mind you, it's got to happen some point. You've got to play us at some point.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Rather you play us at the Emirates than you come to Wembley to play us, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely, because of course our record speaks for itself when you come to the Emirates. Of course, you won once there when we were 2-0 up, and then you came back to 3-2. That's when you had Bell, Modric, and Van der Vaart. But since then, it's either been a draw or we've won. And how do you reckon you'll line up? Do you reckon you'll go 3 at the back? Do you reckon you'll go 4? What team do you think you'll go with tomorrow? Do you think Poch will play tomorrow?
I think we're going to go with. Do you want me to do the full? Do you want me to do a full 11?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I reckon
if you can try, yeah, if you want
he'll
to.
go with Lloris, and I think he'll maintain Aurier because he's been in fantastic form. I think Ben Davies will play alongside Vertonghen and Alderweireld. What will be interesting to see is if Foyth plays as well. That's going to be the big question because I think we should play a back three. I'm sorry, a back four. But Pochettino likes to change tactics in big games, and it's worked half of the time. Other times it doesn't work, and obviously when it works, it looks brilliant. When it doesn't, you look a bit foolish. But I think for a game of this importance, I would go Lloris, Davies, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Aurier, and then in midfield, I would go with Eric Dyer and Musa Sissoko. Then I would go with Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen, and Heung-min Son. And then I would go with Harry Kane. And I say this, and I'm leaving both Lamela and Mora on the bench. But then if you think about that, look who we can bring on. If it's not working, we've got such pace on both flanks to bring on.
That is very true. You really do. And obviously, Harry Kane always seems to be up for these derbies.
He lives for these derbies.
Yeah, he does. Is there obviously with our defence, we went with a back three against Bournemouth, but most of the season we won with a back four. Do you reckon we should go with the back three or the back four? What would be the best way to stop Harry Kane? Because of course he has to be stopped if we're going to win this game. He has to be stopped.
Back three with wing backs, because then that allows you to put 2 men on Harry Kane at any one time. Harry Kane is not the quickest, but he's not a slow coach either, and he will outrun.
Socrates
and Holding. If he plays, I'm not sure Holding will play. I'd be surprised.
I would start him in the back three on this, but of course I don't know what. This is one thing with Unai Emery. We don't know what he's going to do. Well, with Arsene Wenger, you can pretty much guarantee what he was going to do.
I think the crucial battle of this game is going to be whether Torreira is able to stop Christian Eriksen.
Yeah.
That Christian Eriksen, if you look carefully, did you watch the Chelsea game?
Yeah, I saw most of it.
Something I noticed that he did really interestingly was, do you know how Christian Eriksen is so good at picking up the pockets of space as he attacks?
Yeah, he is, definitely.
He played in a deeper role, and what he essentially did was play as if he was doing his attacking role against us. And that might sound weird, but hear me out. So essentially, where he picks up the attacking pockets of space, it was as if he was asked to play on the Chelsea side, to pick up those attacking pockets of space that Chelsea would be looking to try and get to, and he was filling them in an offensive role. So defensively, he was superb, as well as on the ball being his usual sort of classy, exciting self. And that will be interesting. I think I wonder if he's going to be given the freedom to go forward or whether he's going to play a more defensive role. It'll be interesting to see. But Eriksen versus Torreira is the big battle tomorrow, I reckon.
Yeah, and obviously you've made your team, and of course your team really does look strong on paper, and it's definitely a team that is capable of beating us. Obviously, I hope it doesn't. I still think Arsenal can beat you, but you've mentioned Torreira as your main man that you think you're scared of. Is there anyone else in our team that you're scared of? Don't you think our attack of Aubameyang, Lacazette, or even Mesut Ozil gets you? What do you fear of Arsenal?
Arsenal have always had a very strong attack. They've had that under Wenger. That's the one thing that's not changed, and I don't think. I don't think that Emery can be praised for yet more beautiful attacking football from an Arsenal perspective, because that's not changed. What Emery has changed is the defensive setup of Arsenal. He's brought in Leno, who I think is one of the best goalkeepers probably in Europe.
Oh, I love him. He's absolutely brilliant.
You've got a safe pair of hands there. And he's brought in a very experienced defender in Socrates to play alongside whoever else you choose, because it often changes around. Mustafi is playing well alongside Socrates because he's not got Koscielny. Koscielny is one of those players that can play fantastically well one game and absolutely terribly the other.
He won't feature tomorrow.
No.
He's been a great servant over the years. I think he's still a good defender. But
what you have with Socrates is stability, and that allows Mustafi greater confidence, and that's why I think he's playing better alongside him. It obviously helps. I'm sure that Mustafi's English is very good as well, but it obviously helps. He'll be able to communicate in German in an emergency. Do you know, at times if something slips and you think, oh, well, he'll probably naturally think in German anyway. So they've got that as well. And Socrates has been one of the best Bundesliga defenders when he was at Dortmund.
Yeah, he was very good. Yeah,
he was very, very good. I still think your fullbacks are weak defensively. I think Bellerin's been one of the big improvements this season.
Yeah.
I think defensively he's done so much better than previous years. But is he going to stop the likes of Christian Eriksen, Heung-min Son? I'm not sure. Because the thing is, Son can turn a player on his weaker side. And if he plays on the left, Son, which is what I hope he does, or Moura even, if Moura plays and they play on the left, they're going to constantly be turning Bellerin inside, which is exactly why I think a back three would be the most sensible option for Arsenal.
I totally agree. I'll definitely go with the back three. And also, you're right about Bellerin. He's good going forward, but a bit weak at the back end. It's the same with Kolasinac, who is going to start tomorrow because Monreal is out. So the same with Kolasinac. We have got. You're right about our fullbacks. We're good going forward, but a bit weak. A bit
similar to Tottenham, though. Tottenham have that same problem. What would be interesting to see is, I know that Lacazette, there's questions over his fitness. It's unsure whether he will play.
Yeah, hopefully he's recovered, because he was only a minor injury that ruled him out last week, and he has had a 4 weeks rest. So I do expect him to be within the squad. Whether he'll start, I don't know.
What I think would be sensible would be to play a 3-4-3 and to play Iwobi, Lacazette and Aubameyang. Play Aubameyang in the middle, Iwobi on the left, and Lacazette in the middle, Aubameyang on the right, and Iwobi on the left, and have Iwobi exploiting Aurier, and have Aubameyang down the right exploiting Ben Davies, because the double pace of Bellerin and Aubameyang on that right hand side would really, really give Spurs problems, particularly if you counter attack. I think you'd expect Tottenham probably to have a greater share of possession, and Arsenal have the pace to counter. So that's where I think the game could be won and lost. It's going to be discipline in the transitions, I reckon.
Definitely. You mentioned a very interesting point there that you'll start Iwobi, but I personally do think Mesut Ozil is very vital for this game, because usually at home he always turns up, just like you saw last year against you guys. He was a man of the match. Of course, he is questionable about whether he can do it consistently in big games, but I do actually think he is crucial for this game, and I feel he does need to start. He didn't start against Bournemouth because Unai Emery didn't think it was the right game for him, which...
So this is what I think. Yeah, I think if you're going to play a back three, there's no need to play Granit Xhaka.
Do you not think so? Not him and Torreira? Would you be Torreira and would you play Ozil a bit deep, or would you start?
I would. That's exactly what I would do. I would have Torreira as your holding midfielder, and I would have Ozil playing a slightly deeper role, because he's very competent there. I mean, when he's played for the national team, he's played slightly deeper at times as well, and has done very well. He started off at Werder Bremen playing slightly deeper as well, and then he came forward. And I think being in a deeper role and venturing forward is where he's most effective. And if you play a back three, you've got that extra stability. So you can afford to play. You can play Rob Holding. You can play Mustafi and Socrates. And then Aaron Ramsey would be the player that misses out, I reckon.
Yeah, to be very honest with Aaron Ramsey, I feel so sorry for him because I just don't think his head is in it since he's been told that he's not going to be given a contract extension, which I do think it is a mistake. I think we should be keeping him. But
I've got a question for you with Ramsey. So obviously, Sol Campbell's been in the news getting the Macclesfield job.
Yeah.
Would Ramsey be doing himself harm if Spurs were to come along and offer him a nice contract? Do you think he would be harming his career by potentially doing that? Obviously, it would be very controversial, and it's obviously a move I would be very in favour of because I think he's massively one of the most underrated players in the Premier League.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. No, I don't think it will happen. No, I surely can't see him after being at Arsenal all those years. He hasn't come through the youth, but he came in at a very young age, and we've stuck by him with injuries. He's played with his heart. I think he's a bit of an Arsenal legend because he's won a few FA Cups on his own, and it wasn't for him, we'll still be in our long trophy drought, which you're in. But I love saying that, because you used to say that to us over the time, but enough of that. He wouldn't do that. I honestly can't see him doing that. But obviously, if he did that, oh dearie me, just imagine how it will go down. You've experienced it with Sol Campbell, and we've also experienced it with Adebayor. But
could you say
I can't see him doing that?
Could you say though, in terms of that, would he get as much hatred as Sol Campbell received? Because this is the difference.
Absolutely. Anyone who goes from Arsenal to Tottenham will always receive big hatred.
But I feel as if, William Gallas obviously went directly from.
Yeah.
But
he got a little bit. He got a little bit. I don't think
he didn't get too much, but he was respected for what he achieved. And I think the difference between Sol Campbell at Spurs and Aaron Ramsey at Arsenal is that Aaron Ramsey has done so much for that club. Sol Campbell didn't do as much for Tottenham as Aaron Ramsey has done for Arsenal. Sol Campbell is not was never as much, but he wasn't as much of a Spurs legend as Aaron Ramsey is for Arsenal.
Of course, he won't be now, but Reggie King's mainly your legends.
Well, yeah, I mean it goes without saying. He was one of the best defenders we've ever had, and he stayed with our club for his whole career from the youth team. You don't want to think about Ramsey leaving the club. I hope that situation is resolved.
Unfortunately, I don't. He's definitely not going to get a contract now because
that's a travesty.
It is. But listen, I said at the end of the day, Unai Emery has his own plans. He probably just thinks, now I don't fancy him, because when he first came in, Unai Emery, he said he wanted to build a team around both Ramsey and Aubameyang. He particularly mentioned those two names. So I seriously think that he's obviously saw something in that which he doesn't like. Maybe you can't play both him and Mesut Ozil in that position. But I seriously think Ramsey's better a bit deeper. But obviously,
I think he's found Lucas Torreira. That's the difference. Is Arsenal was lacking that midfielder in a sort of deeper role that could provide such good technical ability as well as defensive discipline. And that was a steal, Torreira.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. And I seriously got worried when we hadn't got the deal done. When he put in that fantastic performance when Uruguay played Portugal, I thought, oh, wow, look at the guy we're going to be getting. I'm saying, please hurry up, Arsenal, because if we don't, I could just see someone else coming in there. So I'm so glad we've got him. And he's definitely, I think he's on the levels right now of like Yaya Toure and how he's playing, just because I just think the way he's come in is just incredible. But yeah, I definitely agree that he is our most important player, and I definitely think it'll be crucial that he has a good game and Ozil has a good game, and literally much the whole team has a good game if we are going to be beaten.
I know I've spoken a lot about Lucas Torreira, but I mustn't forget Iwobi, and I did mention I think Iwobi should start. Iwobi has been exceptional this season. It seems like
he's really improved.
He was really told to fight for his place by the sounds of things, and he really has done that.
Yeah, definitely. Because obviously, another thing I like about Unai Emery is that he makes sure you work hard or you're off. Because at half time, he will literally not be afraid to snatch you off if you haven't done that. While you would never ever see Arsene Wenger do that. Or 50 minutes not playing well, off. That's another thing I like about Unai Emery. Is I love his ruthlessness, and I think that's definitely key. And obviously, what was I going to say? Something else I was going to say. Oh, obviously, at the moment, you do go into this game 3 points ahead of us, and if we win, we go level with you, and if you win, you'll go 6 clear of us. If it's a draw, then it will stay 3 points. Do you think that if we win this game, then because I think if we win this game, I think, of course, we'll definitely finish above you. I still think we will, regardless. I said at the start. But
you think if you win this game, you'll finish above us. But what happens if we beat you at Wembley?
Yeah, definitely.
That level's out.
Yeah, of course. Of course, there is that, obviously. But if you beat us, which I really hope doesn't happen, do you think the gap will be 6 points? Do you think that then we got Man United on Wednesday? That could be some more drop points. Possibly, but do you think that will put you definitely in strong position? And then do you think that we're most likely to catch Chelsea than we will you if you were to win this game?
What's really interesting is if Spurs beat Arsenal, suddenly the media will pipe up with title talk potentially as outsiders for the title. Yeah. I don't think Spurs are there yet. No. I don't think Spurs are there yet. But however, if whatever happens at the Liverpool game, say Everton can pull off a shock, suddenly we're joint second, and we're certainly going to be still in touching distance. And as much as you'll hate this always tends to be the best time of year for Spurs. Tottenham tend to have a really good Christmas run. And if you look at our fixtures, we've got Southampton at home, Burnley at home, Wolves at home. Obviously, Wolves tested Arsenal and are a very good side.
We were very poor against Wolves. We should have lost that game.
That's a game we should be winning as well.
You at home, you should beat them
for all of those. I mean, this is it. And Spurs have a very, very good run over Christmas.
Yeah. Wales is difficult because you've got Man United at Old Trafford straight after this. And even though Man United aren't playing well at the moment, we never seem to show up when we go to Old Trafford regardless. So then we've got Huddersfield at home, which we should beat. Southampton away, a ground which we've not done well recently. Burnley at home. Then we got you in the cup as well. And then Burnley at home, we should beat. Brighton away, we didn't do very well last year. And then Liverpool.
I fully expect you to beat us in the cup. I fully expect Arsenal to beat us in the cup. Spurs always play awfully at the Emirates whenever we've drawn you in the cup.
Yeah, I remember that time when he absolutely played you off the park and Theo Walcott. Oh, I loved that. Then he got injured.
Got coined by Spurs fans, which I did.
Yeah, I thought
that was outrageous. So I thought
that was stupid of you. And then that wasn't very good.
But you provoke. I mean, you shouldn't be doing that outside the away fans. That's just not sensible.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. But going back with the game tomorrow, do you think Arsenal really need to win this because of the point situation? Would you be happy with a point because obviously it has been a draw in a few years and you tend to be no. Even though you'll still be 3 points ahead of us.
No, because our aim should not be to finish above Arsenal. That should be the least of our concerns. This is the mindset that Arsenal have had under Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, that was a problem.
It was a mindset of if we can get top 4 and finish above Tottenham, we'll be happy because we expect Chelsea to get that other place. That's not mindset.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
Spurs have been in and around the top of the table for the last 3 seasons. It's time we finally win some silverware. Man City are going to be impossible to catch. It's going to be so difficult to stop them. Even Liverpool. Everyone's praising Liverpool for being incredible Liverpool. They're only 3 points ahead of us. And at the end of the day, we've had our best start to a Premier League season. If we beat Arsenal, that's our best start to a league season since we won the league and did the double in the 60s.
That long ago.
58 years ago. And ultimately, where the club is now, we can't be happy with getting draws in these games. It has to be a win. We have to be looking to win every single game of football. And if you go into the game with a mindset saying, oh, right, we'll take a draw here, that's not the talk of potential champions at all.
No,
it's not the talk of someone with serious ambition. And I think Tottenham's ambitions have been seriously questioned by all sorts of people. And I think quite unfairly criticised in the media, people like Paul Merson saying, well, Spurs have no ambition, Gary Neville. And I think off the back of this week, Spurs have a miracle to achieve in Barcelona in the Champions League. And if we can beat Arsenal at the Emirates and we look at the games we've got coming up, then we're going to be thinking, well, who's going to stop us? Yeah, and that's exactly the mindset we want to have going into this busy run of Christmas games.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, this is a crucial time because I seriously think this Christmas run for both teams could actually make or break whether you get top four or not. It could do. Obviously, there's still the January window and the rest of the season. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But with us, usually when Arsenal play you at the Emirates, I always expect to win, and then whenever we don't, it's always a bad result, especially at home.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah, and I think it's very more crucial we win this time than possibly in the previous seasons. The previous seasons, you probably could say, well, probably not. Obviously, I don't want it to draw. Then you could get away with the point, but I seriously think we need to win this, especially if when we got Man United coming up, and then got trips to Brighton, Southampton, and Liverpool later this month, and that's a very tough run of fixtures at grounds we never do well at. So,
being happy to take a draw is one thing when you're 70 minutes in and you're down to 10 men or you're losing. And obviously, Man United now just drawing to Southampton.
Is it finished? Did he finish 2-2?
Finished 2-2.
Oh,
very lucky, Man United. So that's a good result. Always nice to see them struggle. And I know they're always, as much as Spurs are the big ultimate enemy, they are secondary, aren't they, really?
With us, obviously we've got Spurs and Man United and, of course, Chelsea. But, yeah, of course, I love seeing United struggle, and I hope we beat them as well the other day, on Wednesday. But, of course, this is first before we
I have a feeling that it's going to take Arsenal out of nowhere getting a hiding. And it may be tomorrow, it may be from another team. But I fully expect that to happen because that's going to be really interesting because obviously, I love seeing Arsenal lose anyway. But if you lose, how do you react to that?
Yeah, that has been something of how we react to that,
You've not had to react to a major setback yet, really, this season.
Well, not under this new manager, but I think the difference was, I think the reason why we reacted was because with Wenger, we were just seeing the same thing season in season and season, because it wasn't the first time we got beaten big time, because we succeeded 8 at Man United, 6 at Chelsea, 5 at Liverpool, 5 at Bayern Munich 3 times, even 5 at you in the cup once, in one of the cup ones. So it's because it kept happening time and time again, and we were deceived that we were going to move to the Emirates to compete with Europe's elite, when in fact we were going backwards. And I think that's why we got frustrated, and the fact that Wenger wouldn't change his ways. But with a new manager, with Unai Emery, we're always going to give him time, and I always urge Arsenal fans that you have to give the new manager more time. And because Paul Merson kept saying this, and it really got on my nerves, that Arsenal are shortly going to be on the end of a smashing because their defence isn't good enough. And he thought that against Liverpool when he was totally wrong. And so, yeah, definitely. I'm going to have to go shortly, but I'm going to have to push you for a score prediction. What do you seriously think will happen? Do you reckon you'll win this time? Do you reckon it'll be another draw? Do you reckon you can't beat us? But
I think Spurs will pull off perhaps a shock, and I think they will win by 1 goal. I don't know what the score will be. It could be anything. I expect both teams to score, but I think Spurs will win this game. I think Spurs are in very good form right now. There's nothing that's going to stop their confidence, provided Spurs are disciplined and don't get a sending off or make an error, which is what we've done in previous games. if everyone in that Spurs team shows the same focus, passion, and determination that they showed in the previous 2 games, I don't see us losing at all.
Right, fair enough.
And what do you reckon?
I said in the preview, you know what? I think there is a different mentality with Arsenal, and I think there is a different mindset. And after what I saw against Liverpool and what I've seen so far this season, I just really, really hope Unai Emery and the players and the new players just understand how much this game means to the fans and the club in general. But I'm actually good optimistic, and I said 3-1 to Arsenal. So I'll go 3-1. I'll go 3-1 to us. I reckon
our biggest defeat of the season it would be.
Yeah, and obviously we managed it last year when we pulled off a 2-0. We came out flying. I'm just thinking we can show that same intensity, then I think we'll be absolutely fine. But if we're not, if we're slightly switched off, if we start off slowly, like we have done, then we probably won't win. But
one thing you can guarantee is this is going to be absolutely chaotic. The game is going to be very much decided, I reckon, in the first 15 minutes. You're going to know who's up for it. Yeah. Barring an absolute freak incident like a red card or a penalty out of nowhere.
But we got Mike Dean ref in this game, and you know what he's like. He always likes to make himself the main man, and he
also likes to referee Tottenham losing 5-2 at the Emirates. But I'd rather not talk about that.
Oh yeah, he celebrated one of your goals. I remember that. But yeah, we'll wrap the show up there. Thank you very much, Josh.
You're very welcome.
It's always a pleasure, even though you are a Spurs fan, and I don't really like lots of Spurs fans, but I like you. You're nice. I like you though, and obviously I hope tomorrow isn't a nice day for you, but enjoy the game. That's all I will say. I can't wish you too much luck because obviously I really want us to win, but just enjoy.
Likewise to you. Enjoy it. And where are you going to be watching it?
Unfortunately, because usually on Sundays I'm usually busy with my own Upfield Grasshoppers team, so I usually have a match, but it has actually been called off, and I haven't been able to manage to get a ticket, so I'm going to have to go to the pub and watch the game. So
that's where I'll be. I'll be at the pub as well.
Yeah,
from Nottingham.
I'll be one in Haywards Heath somewhere, but yeah, just enjoy the game wherever you're watching it, and yeah, come on, you Reds, please.
Come on, you Spurs.